Modern. All right, speaking of modern, let's dive on into this one here. Mardu Shadow. This deck has been put up a number of results at different events since Modern Horizons was printed. We got Modern Staple Death Shadow here, gets bigger as your health total gets lower. We've got 4 Silent Clearings in here that allow you to kind of cycle through your mana a little bit and also kind of hurt yourself every turn. There's one of Hex Parasite in here, which is really kind of sweet. It's a card you can search up with Ranger-Captain of Eos, but it also just lets us pay 2 life as much as we want to make the Death Shadow bigger on command. We got a couple of Temur Battle Rage to randomly kill people through blockers, and then, you know, just other good discard spells and removal spells. So let's go ahead and dive on into a Constructed League with this one and see how it goes. Yeah, if they're gonna make changes to standard, but they're gonna wait till after the MC, that's gonna make me to use my liability words. It's gonna make me incredibly disappointed in them. If they're going to change standard, they should make the ban happen now, and it should be in effect for the upcoming Mythic Championship. I agree, Netman. I actually posted on Twitter last night. I actually greatly prefer playing against the Golos Field of the Dead decks than I do Esper from previous seasons. I don't think they should ban anything in Standard. Viewership going to be way down if it's all Golos ramp. I mean, yeah. I mean, the viewership won't be down because it's one of their arena tournaments, so I expect them to buy a bunch of viewers because that's how this industry works. Sure, but they could unlock those, I hurt myself, and tell people the deck lists are due the Wednesday before. They're like, alright, you have 6 days to go figure it out. You have a week to go figure it out. The purpose of the Mythic Championship is supposed to be to get to watch the best in the world plus their challengers work on deck lists and be excited to play those deck lists. So, like, if you're changing the format immediately after these people play, why am I excited to watch them work when I can't do anything with their work, right? Like, the reason people watch Magic content by and large is because they are looking for ideas that they can take and use at home. So, like, if you're removing that incentive, you're killing a lot of your organic viewership. And, of course, it's difficult to impossible to track that because they're going to inflate their viewer numbers like they always do for their arena events, but, you know. Yeah, I agree. Getting under the Golos decks is way easier than getting under Esper control. Personally, I'm excited for Field of the Dead to get banned, and then there to be a different deck that makes everybody's bad decks unplayable. Here's a blisteringly hot take. Most of the decks that you're trying that aren't good still won't be good once Field of the Dead is banned. Are we saying they inflate like viewbots? So they're technically not viewbots by the definition of viewbots, but that's a pretty actually statement. For those not familiar, what they do, and this is actually a service Twitch offers from my understanding, is you can get your Twitch stream embedded as an advertisement in ad networks, and then everybody who has your stream play as an autoplay video ad through that ad network has their stuff come up, or counts as a viewer. So there's a bunch of people who are not actually really watching the content and have no interest in Magic that are counted as Magic viewers. I don't ever need double red, but I could use double white on occasion. So let's get Godless Shrine here. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing modern content in the morning. Like, this latest Moto patch, like the application's just locked up while it's trying to show me their hand. Like, it's taken me 90 seconds to cast the spell. Like, that's absurd, right? Like, it just took me 2 minutes to fetch, shock, cast Thoughtseize. Like, Magic Online has always been a laggy mess, but the fact that they, like, managed to make it more of a laggy mess is, like, really impressive. And see, look, it's trying to cast my spell. And the whole application's just locked up. Like, Magic Online's never been the fastest application, but it was not this bad before. Yeah, Paula, like, again, like, the way software works, one issue that happens here isn't going to happen on another computer, isn't going to happen on another computer. Like, I seriously doubt that this issue is happening on every computer. I would be very surprised if that's the case, but it's definitely happening on my computer. Yeah, it works. It works fine on my PC. Yep, is exactly a realistic answer that we would get from them. All right, yay, discard spells. I love Modern, but this is miserable. It's happening to me too, and it's ruined 2 of my drafts. Yep. Yeah, this is through the Docker image. I might try setting up a Windows virtual machine again to see if that fixes it. It's been a while since I've done that, but I think I might try and set up a Windows VM for tomorrow. I didn't have time to do it last night. But yeah, it's real bad. And, like, it's definitely their update that caused it, because, like, nothing changed on my end, and then, like, they patched on when they added the ability to drag cards from your hand to the stack, it started running like this. So they have 3 lands, Hour of Promise. I think I actually want to just, like, go Giver plus Death Shadow here. Because I can Tidehollow their thing next turn. It might be a little bit loose to play this out as a 3/3, but getting my clock into play is pretty important. Yeah, I've been constantly down on clock since they patched the update. And I am if people have watched the stream before, I am never down on clock. Alright, well, we've got a 4/4 Shadow and a Giver protecting this Tidehollow Sculler, so... Alright, Fetch Shock puts us to a 7. I'm going to go ahead and cycle this Silent Clearing, because we could hit a Temur Battle Rage and kill them. And if we don't hit a Temur Battle Rage, we still have a lethal attacker next turn. Oh. Oh, Metsu. Alright, what'd you draw? I've got 2 fetch lands, then their card they drew for the turn. Alright. Do I prefer Mardu over Grixis? I don't really have an educated or informed opinion on that. We actually die to another ramp spell here, right? Because these are lands 5/6, so if they hit a ramp spell, they can just 6 me. I spent more time waiting for Moto that game, I think, than I did actually playing. Which is something. Alright, so all the fatal pushes come out. Bolt comes out. I guess Bolt races them at least. Unearth probably comes out. Actually, Unearth brings back Fulminator, so that stays in. Probably don't care about Surgical. Let's bring in the Liliana. It's another way to bring back the Fulminator. This seems fine. Yeah, just every game action takes a bunch of time. So, Hex Parasite's a card that lets you randomly make your Death Shadows lethal. Is the reason you play it. So I'm pretty sure you like always leave that one in. And I know like my opponent's playing Valakut Titan, so like there's not a ton of decisions regardless of what you're playing, but like this style of like I just discard all the cards from your hand and you don't do anything is like, it's kind of medium gameplay, right? Which is one of the reasons why Modern as a format is kind of meh. Like, the good fair decks in this format only exist because they basically just make their opponent not play Magic. Which is kind of crappy. Like, if your opponent actually plays the game, you don't win. Like that last game, right? We cast like 6 discard spells or something like that. It was like at least 4. It was like 2 1-mana discard spells and 2 Tidehollow Scullers. We've talked about this before, but for people who haven't heard the discussion, I'm not a big fan of discard spells from a game design perspective. Because in my opinion, good game design should encourage both players to make decisions, and discard spells actively remove decisions from one of the players. They cast a ramp spell too. Like, this is kind of an uphill battle. Not having a Death Shadow or a Tidehollow Sculler in play kind of makes these Fulminator Mages a bit medium. Because, like, I can sit here and pay 3 mana to destroy one of my opponent's lands. But, like, my opponent's deck is, like, 28 lands and then another dozen cards that find lands. So, like, trying to, like, Stone Rain them out of the game is definitely swimming upstream. So if I'm not killing them while I'm killing their lands, I'm in a pretty medium spot. All right, that's a good draw. Their hand right now is Mountain, Scape Shift. So I'm gonna go ahead and Inquisition them. This probably misses, but I just want to get a little bit of info. Or it doesn't. Yep. I think I'd rather this get veiled than my Fulminator get veiled, though, so deal. Burning Inquiry, yeah. Yeah, when Hollowed One was one of the better decks, that's some really bad magic, to say the least. Hey, Tiny Roman, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, we should technically upkeep Fulminator. It's a good call. And the reason to do this during their upkeep is this way, if they do have another Veil, they have to pay mana for it on their turn. So they're locked out of that mana for an extra turn. Don't play a Steve. Don't do it. Opponent cast Steve. I can see they cast Steve in the game log lists what they're doing while the client's still lagging, so that's nice. Is that lethal? That's lethal. So we'll shock this in. We'll cast a thing, we'll make this pro green. Yeah, we'll play text-based Magic. I'll just describe the board state to you all at home. Well, that was a pretty easy 2-0. And, like, that's the tough part, right? Like, that was a really easy 2-0, but, like, what actually happened in those games, right? Like, there wasn't really any back and forth. It was just, like, me punching them repeatedly. I don't know. You could argue that that's a symptom of their deck more than anything. Yeah, this hand looks keepable. I think I'm bottoming a silent clearing here. Now I'm going to bottom the Blood Crypt, so I have double white. Yeah, but that's a big symptom of the format. Like, the format as a whole is just very linear. Like, the previous opponent's deck is one of the best decks in Modern. Alright, Watery Grave. We can get some back and forth. Oh yeah, punch me. Oh no, don't punch. Don't punch Giver. What did Giver ever do to you? Alright, what you working with? Show me y'all secrets. Grixis Shadow. Maybe a control deck. Find out next time in 30 seconds when Moto finally shows us their hand and puts my Inquisition on the stack. Magic Online is currently hard locked for anybody wondering at home. Alright, well, I guess we take their opt. Thanks for the 17 months, Terminator. I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. As someone who was actually, like, enjoying, like, neo-trolling people and playing Saheeli combo, I was, like, looking forward to playing some Modern. But, like, the performance of Magic Online has, like, removed any and all joy that I was going to derive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we ranted. Listen, I want to be abundantly clear. Whenever you refer to Wizards of the Coast ban list move, refer to it as the emergency ban day, because that's what that is. The reason why they announced that change is because they're going to try and say it's not an emergency ban, it's a scheduled change. That's the definition of an emergency ban, as an out-of-cycle ban. I don't care if you announce your out-of-cycle ban a week in advance, a week and a half in advance, it's still an emergency ban. Woodwin, thanks for the 20 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They've not told us what they're banning yet. Deprive me, daddy. Deprive me. I mean, if they're going to make any decisions about Field of the Dead, I would assume any decisions that they're making are going to be based off of the fact that they have vast amounts of arena data that we don't have, that's not public facing. Sniper Wave, thank you for the 9 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Resub to let you know I'm looking forward to seeing Rampaging Frostodon banned in Historic Best of 1. Something like that. Vendilion Click, sure. Panique for the win. Thanks for the Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having an excellent Thursday wherever you are. All I have. I'm gonna sack this just in case they have a Force of Negation. Thanks for the card. Appreciate you. I don't know a way to say this that doesn't make me sound kind of like a jerk. So maybe I just shouldn't say it, but I feel like it needs to be said. If we're actually going to have an emergency ban in Standard, what was the point of the play design team? Like, I thought the purpose of play design was supposed to be to explicitly avoid issues like this. Like, when they announced the team, at least, it felt like they were announcing it surrounding issues similar to this. It feels like, well, what are they doing, right? Like, yeah, but the cat combo predates play design. Like, the purpose of play design was to prevent needing, like, bans on occasion are still gonna happen, but, like, an emergency banning, like, the number of people that have to, like, mess up for that to happen. Yeah, that's possible too. The play design team locates issues and the decision makers tend to ignore them. Cat combo is when Saheeli plus Felidar Guardian Djinn were standard legal at the same time. Saheeli, the infinite Saheeli plus Felidar Guardian was a standard legal combo at one point. So, to strap on our tinfoil hats to talk about the emergency ban time schedule, all of the deck lists for the Mythic Championship were due yesterday. And then shortly after the deadline, or shortly before, however it works out, they announced an out-of-cycle ban update. So I wonder if, like, the Mythic Championship is like 60% Golos or something. A lot of people are really upset with Field of the Dead. I think my opponent's casting a counterspell, but I won't get to find out for another 10 to 15 seconds or so, because Magic Online. Oh, you know what? It's actually a pretty big mistake on my part, huh? I could have played around the Drown in the Lock by playing the Godless Shrine instead of fetching. It's something to think about. Alright, so my plan here is to shock this in and pass. Now I'm going to end step K command, they discard a card, pick up Tidehollow Sculler. They'll likely counter that while untapping it to Ranger plus Death Shadow. I know this won't work, but can you explain my restarting mode? Because this is like the first match we've played 7 Crosses. This isn't an issue where it's like leaking memory and slowly getting worse. Like the very first game you play on Magic Online on my computer right now, everything runs like molasses. If I could restart every match and have it not happen, I would just restart every match. But it's literally just not an option. It's not like Arena where it starts running fine and then eventually slows down to unbearable. It's unbearable from the start. Fonsetti, thank you for the 3/4 of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, that comment is spot on, Jin. We're not saying there's an emergency ban coming, but there's an emergency ban coming. And don't call it an emergency ban because it happened during a scheduled announcement that we emergency moved the date for. Yep. At every point, you should refer to this upcoming change as an emergency ban, because that's what it is. Alright, so I think my plan here is to, because I have this other Kolaghan's command, I'm going to K command again here. I'm going to K command, they discard a card, pick up the Tidehollow Sculler next turn. And then the following turn, I'll have 5 mana, and I'll be able to Tidehollow Sculler plus play a 3 mana spell, which is great. Alright, so they're doing this. So that means rather than doing this on their end of turn, I'm going to go ahead and kill this and pick my thing back up now. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Tidehollow Sculler, kill this. Yeah, Slow Future, it's wild to me that they pushed this game out as a release and then did a bunch of big sponsored stuff with, like, bugs like that existing. Like, honestly, the fact that you can't reconnect consistently is the most offensive of all their bugs because it makes the rest of the bugs that much worse, right? Anime, thanks for the 10 months. Alright, even Death Shadow is like a pretty decent draw here, because it means I'm going to be able to double spell next turn. My goal for next turn is to double spell. Sure. Ice, thanks for the 21 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. No, that's exactly what happened, Slow Future. That's 100% what happened. You get stuck on the splash screen. You can hear the game going on underneath it. I mean, like, if fetching Mystic Sanctuary is something that's good in Modern, like, that's probably fine. I think I just pass. I think I'm just gonna pass. God, 4 cards is so many cards. This is something to think about. Maybe I'm supposed to jam a 3-drop there just because that's a card that could possibly be untapped, they could be casting. The nice thing about Moto is it gives you time to chat as opposed to that darn constant action. Thanks for the 2 months, 063, welcome back. Eminem, thanks for doling out some sub-gifties. Saw that other one earlier. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. What do you think of Royal Scion and Grixis Shadow as a way to give Shadow Trample? It's a really interesting idea. Because it's, like, not as narrow as Temur Battle Rage. But it, like, gives you a similar impact, even if it's not as a surprise. So that's kind of neat. Well, they missed a land drop here. I assume this is going to get, like, deprived. Yeah, Golos and Oko just, like, make both those cards pretty medium. Like, the blue-green Henge deck on my site is, like, an aggressive deck first and, like, a Henge deck second. Wow, their hand's pretty bad, huh? So... do we just take Into the Story here and then Stone Rain them? I think that's the plan. Just take Into the Story. And, like, kill their Black Source. Should we Stone Rain the opponent? Twitch chat. Resounding yes. I'm not attacking, so I don't want to trade this for Snapcaster Mage. That's a pretty good draw. Totem Kai, thank you for the 4 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I have another white source in my deck. I'm not sure that I do. I don't. That's super awkward. I'm just going to concede this game. They just have too much crap in their hand. I think we needed to have them brick on that land for a turn or two to have a real shot. I think I'm happy with how we sideboarded. Let's run it back. Sure. Yep. Let the punching begin. All the decks are linked on the deck queue, Tom, I gather. So I don't upload them all to Stream Decker preemptively, but I put them in the deck queue. Yay, magic. Second draw to the lock there is a little annoying, because it means that if I don't draw a black source next turn, I can't do both of these. I saw Noxus tweet about that. That would be funny. He is Teferi, hero of Hearthstone. Fetch land. I should attack first with this, because they have Drown in the lock and then blanks. They're going to kill this in response, then I miss the damage. If we had a black source here, getting this Shadow down with Giver Up would probably be close to GG's. But now they have a chance to have more counter spells and stuff, so we're going to have a bad time. Right on time, Silent Clearing. Welcome to the party. Alright. Go. Technically missed a point of damage here, right? The lock runs deep, chat. Nessie claims many a victim. Maybe our creature should learn how to swim, right? Oh, right. Their fetch land is just draw a kill spell. It's pretty good. Maybe I'm supposed to, maybe because I drew this bolt, I'm supposed to put them to 3 there. That point of damage I missed earlier this game is huge, huh? Hey, Loki, thanks for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I missed a point of damage earlier this game. I think it's definitely going to cost us here. Oh, they have a chance to top deck for it to cost us. I believe their last card in hand was an island, so yeah, it depends on what this card is. It's a good beat. So they'd be dead right now if I hadn't missed a point of damage earlier this game. Just like things to note. So it's again, like if we end up losing this game because I messed up, like important not to just focus on the results, but to think about like what happened in the games and why it happened. Oh, hey, I can get back this, right? All right, well, we're playing a good deck and we're 2-0. Funny how that works. If you get runes and upkeep sack Ranger, they're screwed, right? I mean, they can't cast any sweepers, right? They only have 1 black source. So, like, what card am I playing around by sacking it during their upkeep? Cryptic Command still means I don't kill them there with your line. So, like, they could Cryptic tap my team draw a card on my turn. Which is a card they're definitely playing. When did MTGO come out? MTGO is I believe MTGO will be old enough to vote in the 2020 election. Was it 2002? 2001? Something like that? Sand's a little medium, but Street Wraith is a random card, and I can cycle these silent clearings later. June 24th, 2002. Yep. Hey, look at that. We cycled into that thing we always want to do on turn 1, which is punch them in the face, take their best card away. Legend has it Bernie Sanders played MTGO as a child during the Stone Ages, shortly after he discovered fire. I don't, but we should probably do something. This is the waiting game where I've cast my Thoughtseize and Moto kind of hangs out. Moto's really chugging, trying to process the graphical image of all 7 cards in my opponent's hand right now. Just like, whoa, Any day now. Double Dark Confidant. Yikes. I think I'm taking Liliana the Veil here. I think the plan is hope Bob is on our side. No, for the love of God, please don't take a drink every time. Every time Moto lags. I don't want my audience to die. And then they drew a Thoughtseize. Oh, modern. Oh, modern. Peak modern. The discard mirrors. And then I drew another one. Yeah, punch him in the face. Oh, the face punching. What an incredibly engaging and interesting game of Magic the Gathering we are playing. It's not living your best life, Strickles. Thinking, to get serious for a moment, thinking you could do that is a big part of why he won, though. I think people on the left greatly underestimated the number of people who would buy into his hateful rhetoric. Woof. I guess I play this out. Yeah, honestly, one of the biggest things to me that, like, says the current standard format is fine, and, like, maybe Wizards has some arena data that shows it's not, and I'd be willing to accept that, but they don't share their data, so I can't make a decision based on that. If you listen to the amount of nonsense that people are complaining about in the current format, there's no way in my mind that one thing is likely much better than the others. There's, like, if you ask the average idiot on Reddit, there's, like, 6 different cards in the current standard format that are all way too good and you have to play them. And they don't all go in the same deck. So it's like either everything's busted so nothing is, or like something to, like, what's the deal? Is my question. Alright, Last Hope, Purge, Path. Abrade may or may not be good here. as good as playing a bunch of discard spells feels, I think we're supposed to trim 4 of them in this matchup. Just because I want, like, as that game kind of showed, you want cards that impact the board. And discard spells don't do that. Oh, I'm Plague Engineer. Plague Engineer kills Bob, right? And it's Death Touch. Plague Engineer might be okay. Let's try that. See how it goes. I mean, every good deck makes good decks, other bad decks unplayable. Like, that's just how Magic works. Hey, thanks for the 9 months, Motionless Potato. Welcome back. Like, there isn't this magic world where any 60 cards you put together are suddenly playable. Like, there's always things that are better than the other things. If not for Field of the Dead, I would compare Golos to Fires of Invention in this meta. Yeah, a bunch of people are complaining about Fires, people are complaining about Oko. There's infinite cards people want to complain about. I'm taking Kolaghan's command because I'd prefer this didn't get 2 for 1 by that for now. That would be peak trolling. Just like the 21st rolls around, it's just like no changes in all formats again. I would almost appreciate that. Sure, but like, wrong half problem happens with lots of different things, right? Is driving out aggro and control decks. Alright, listen, this isn't Donald Trump's Twitter. You don't just get to make shit up and post it in my chat like it's the fact. You wanna form an argument telling me that aggro's getting pushed out? Form an argument, but you don't just get to say that, because that's really not true. There are a bunch of good aggro decks in this format. I actually think it's one of the redeeming qualities about it. I also, and this is maybe a controversial take, it's probably not even, I would much rather play against Golos than Esper Control. The fact that Golos is pushing traditional control out of the format is a good thing in my opinion, because playing against traditional control tends to suck. Formats where traditional control are bad tend to be reasonable formats. Yeah, you know, honestly, I think that might be part of it, Death Eater. I think people are so used to, like, you know, this match isn't fun. I don't know. We're not 100% dead here, but I don't really have time to play 5 full matches anyways. Usually we play about 4. And playing against Jund is just not fun, so I'm gonna roll along. I honestly, like, the fact that Mono Red's not tier 1 could lead people to not realize that, like, you can play other aggro decks. I think my favorite part about this current format is people complaining that they hate the Godless Mire, just like completely oblivious to the personal accountability that leads to Godless Mires. Guess what? If you don't like playing Godless Mires, stop registering the Godless deck. Like, is that really so hard to do? There's like plenty of other decks out there that you can register that aren't that. Sure, and I don't think you're alone in that assessment, Rasa. I think there are a number of people who genuinely like playing the Godless Mire, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you love the Godless Mire, jam some Godless and play some mirrors. Like enjoy it. But Jeff, I want a format where I get my control opponent to 5, and they use Sphinx's Rev to both stabilize and get ahead. Yeah. Oh god, that card. Speaking of cards I hope to never see again. It's gonna be one of those days. Blast Zone on 1, Ensnaring Bridge, Dismember, Fatal Push in hand. So like, I want to concede, but I also don't really know what they're playing. Because I don't know, like, are they playing, like, Wurza with Simian Spirit Guide? No, I don't think you're wrong in that perception, Charles. I think the Temur Oko deck has a very, very good Golos matchup. It's a good draw. Oh, that's hilarious. We totally can take the counter off it with Hex Parasite, can't we? That's super funny. I totally should have played Parasite out. I guess I could still play it out. If they have another Spirit Guide, they could pitch Spirit Guide and blow all 3 of them up. But that's fine. It's like a 2 for 3. And puts them behind a land drop. Come on, Moto. Thanks for the 32 months, Bulletproof Boat. Thanks for the sub, Gifty Cody. And welcome, Dirty Digits. Yeah, like we have JAC coming up in the queue, and I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to play that if I can't resolve the lag issues. Having a little bit of wrong half problem here, game 1. I'm just unable to have Fatal Push and Dismember be cards in this matchup, most likely. Well, they're about to Spyglass or Hex Parasite, and that's sad. Hopefully they Spyglass Giver. And they don't think about this doing this. You have a good one for us, Kitty. Well, they named Hex Parasite. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just call that there. I don't really have a desire to continue engaging in this game. Has Spyglass largely replaced Needle? Well, that was game 1. So game 1 especially, Spyglass tends to see more play. Just because, what's the word that I'm searching for? You don't risk. We have a lot of cards that are good here. Hold. Let me think about sideboarding really quick. So Fatal Push out. Dismember out. Maybe I don't want Fulminator Mages. Yeah, if I K-command and then nuke the counter, I'm going to lose to the Ensnaring Bridge Ritual. Like, their hand's going to be empty before I kill them with 1/1s. Surgical's actually probably not good enough here. And, like, the tough part is, like, if I board like this, I'm going to lose to... they're just going to cast Urza and I'm going to lose to it making stuff. Maybe we're aggressive enough that we don't randomly lose to Urza. Maybe. We did not win a game, Black Rabbit. Did not win a game. The build we had also wasn't very good, though. So, I don't think that archetype's good, even if you put a lot of effort into it, but the build we had was definitely less than ideal. Yeah, I would embrace Modern for what it is right now. So if you're someone that's looking to go to a Modern tournament, I would recommend playing either one of the Paradoxical Outcome decks or Neobrand. I think Neobrand's a great way to try and go under the Paradoxical Outcome decks. I think we just have to take Chalice here. I had to play the new POM list, and it felt a lot like KCI, and then I had to explain everything. And there were 5 billion game actions. Yeah, actually, I've heard a lot of Magic players that I respect as good players have expressed to me that they feel the new Emry deck is better than, in terms of power level, feels more powerful than KCI was. Which is something. Hey, good morning, Bloodbath. Welcome back, Dark Rider. What is KCI? KCI stands for Croc-Klon Ironworks. It was an incredibly linear combo deck that frequently took 5+ minutes to execute its combo in paper. What do you get for winning Hoagland Bingo? The pride and respect of knowing that you did. Five's a little low. I agree. I will not activate the abilities of my Tidehollow Sculler. Got it. course, early. What great gameplay. What great gameplay. Can you play Urza so I can concede? Rats. I wish I had something interesting to say. I just don't. That's why we talk about a lot more off-topic stuff. While Mystic Sanctuary get back were. I would just like to be on the record that, like, I know I said when they unbanned Stoneforge, we were in, like, this temporary state of, like, the games being marginally better. And, like, Modern was gonna get back to its same old bullshit, like, very quickly. But, like, I really wish that I had been wrong with that prediction. That was a prediction I did not want to be correct about. It's honestly impressive. These Mox Opal decks, in my opinion, are worse to play against than Hagak was. I would rather have Hagak legal and have that be the top deck. Yeah, it's worse than before, honestly, Nifty. It's worse than when Faithless Looting was legal. Yeah, we're not 0% here, but these games just aren't fun. Let's try and find one more matchup and see if we can get another deck that's just like not locking us out of the game we can actually play. My opponent has a card in play that says I can't cast half the spells in my deck, Tears of Sins, and then they put another card into play that says I can't attack. So I literally just sit there doing basically nothing and just stare awkwardly at my opponent. Thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. Is this thing on? Well, we'll get that added after we're done here. Thanks for linking the deck in your donation message. It's honestly impressive how many people don't link the deck in their donation message when I respond to with an email that says, "Hey, do this thing." I don't have time for that this morning, Scooter. Get out of here. 9 times out of 10, when someone's like, "Hey, I donated, why isn't my deck in the queue?" The answer is because they didn't link the deck in their donation message. So I just had no idea where it was supposed to go. Some amount of the time, I can line up the donation email with the email that they sent the thing from, but a lot of the time the emails are different too. Hey, Femoral, thank you for the 2/3 of a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Work block Twitch, so I can't watch anymore, but I don't want my Beza Bucks to go. Well, thanks for dropping those off. Remember, you can always catch all the replays on YouTube. I appreciate the support. Yeah, maybe Moxup finally eats it. Nah, Urza probably needs to go too. Yeah, Neoform doesn't need to be banned. Simian Spirit Guide shouldn't be legal. That's the card that's not okay. Bum ba dum ba ba bum. Moto is struggle bucketing hard this morning. I think Birthing Pod was north of 50 when it was banned, but I don't think they've ever banned a $100 card before, no. Well, I can Witch member Emry here, so we'll take the Urza. The cause of the ban list moving is probably because they messed up. Just like 99%. In what sense they messed up? I have no idea. It's all just random speculation. And out of cycle ban's a mistake, though. The mistake isn't necessarily the decision. The mistake is the timing at which they are making the decision. So this is definitely a decision that should have been made in the normal ban list window. The fact that it's being an out of cycle ban is the issue. Yeah, I agree, Nifty. I think the timing of the announcement that they're moving the window implies that there's something they're not happy with the MC4 or whatever it is, deck list submissions, MC5, whatever number we're on. Yes, spreading seeds, that's how magic works. White source. White source. Alright, I'll do pig. Honestly, I feel like I should learn how to make a bunch of Reddit bot accounts, because I feel like if I had enough Reddit bot accounts between like the walking back the wildcard decision and and, like, having an emergency ban announcement, like, with enough Reddit bot accounts, it seems like I could probably get WotC to do anything, huh? The Mythic Championship is the weekend before that date. Nope. I think it's incredibly unlikely that the out-of-cycle bans are for anything other than standard. So, if you're not familiar with the timeline of upcoming Magic tournaments, the Standard Arena Mythic Championship is happening on October 19th and October 20th. The next Paper Mythic Championship is happening November 8th. So I would bet that the deck lists submitted for the Arena Championship are giving them cause to worry. So they're giving themselves a chance to have a ban window in between the Arena Mythic Championship and the Paper Mythic Championship in case the format at the Arena Mythic Championship is an absolute crap show. That would be my speculation with the information that we have at the moment. I would be surprised if anything other than Field of the Dead is on the chopping block. So they have Paradoxical Outcome and then one card we don't know. So they're POing to draw 2 cards. The fact that the opponent's archetype gets to turn Engineered Explosives into a combo piece is just so unreasonably gross. I could sack this Ranger-Captain, but like the problem is that then I don't really have a clock, so I think I just let them do their thing. I have no idea, Vernash. If I was in charge based on the information that I have, I would not ban anything. But we also can't make good decisions because we don't have all the information that Wizards has available to them. Like maybe Wizards has internal information that like says that things are a bigger problem than they look like from the outside. So if I can't kill this Emry, we're basically just dead here. Or kill them, I suppose. We're but Temur Battle Rage, we could theoretically kill them. This is 8. Now we're 1 short even with Temur Battle Rage. Morning, Brave Earth. I don't think I ever heard Emrakul described as Emry. I heard Emmy. We can sack Ranger to punish Emry, that's true. You are... That does put you to 10, Scooter. Alright, do I just upkeep this Ranger now? I think we upkeep the Ranger so we don't get engineered explosive. They draw Urza for the turn. That's their best draw here, right? It's a good creature that they can cast. Yeah, maybe if it's hard, just hard to know. Hey, look, it's another one of those cards we can never beat. Oh, sacking this, I could have Fatal Push something, right? That's fine, we drew Bolt. Should have Fatal Push side. It's fine. No Justice Stream. Can the opponent's deck combo through Stony Silence? They can, right? That's so gross. I need to leave Fatal Pushes and removal spells in, because killing Emry is pretty important. Honestly, the path is probably good too for that reason. What am I cutting here? Temur Battle Rage is great, obviously. Maybe Purge is narrow. Killing JAC is pretty important, though. Yeah, is it Giver? It's probably Giver. They have interaction post board, though. I mean, they don't need to ban anything. I don't know. The other problem with banning something is that it riles up and validates all the banmongers. So like, then once they go ahead and ban something, the talk about things needing to be banned is just gonna be never ending for like all eternity. I don't think the JAC builds are playing Thopter Foundry, are they? Are they still playing Thopter Sword? I guess they're playing Urza, so probably. I don't know, that's the tough part about playing against this deck, right? They're just, like, hitting from so many angles. Like, at a certain point, like, I just can't include everything. Yeah, I don't think Sai is a reason to bring in Plague Engineer. That's true, actually. Yeah, I should leave Hex Parasite in. I didn't know they were playing Everflowing Chalice. Wasn't aware that that was a thing they did. I'm gonna Fatal Push this Urza before his token, so he can't make a mana with so they can't make a mana with the token. And for the record, I'm sure there's someone at some point that's gonna be like, but Jeff, you advocate for modern bannings all the time. In my opinion, bannings in Modern and bannings in Standard are very different. Because Modern's a format that's too big for them to really properly test efficiently. So they need to manage the format through ban lists. Whereas, like, Standard should be small enough that they can reasonably manage it most of the time. Yeah, that's not Chalice the Void, that's Everflowing Chalice over here. I really wasn't playing Standard then either, Zombodical. I didn't really get back into Standard until this most recent cycle. The rotation before this one. Alright, so really hoping to draw a land here. So that way I can Fatal Push this Emry. Didn't draw a land, probably dead. Feel pretty dead. I learned Emry JAC can combo off through a Chalice on 0 last week, and nothing has been more peak better. Yeah, they combo through Stony and Chalice on 0. Their deck's very good. Oh, Moto lag. Yeah, I agree, Nivik. I'm looking forward to having channel points. They're supposed to be rolling out channel points to more people this month, but we won't guaranteed have it till next year. That's when everybody on Twitch gets it. And we're dead. So, for people not familiar, JAC, Emry, and a 0-mana artifact that they can sacrifice lets them cast this over and over and over again, powering up their Emry and killing us. What are channel points? Channel points are a thing that allow you to give viewers points and reward them for different things with different things based on how much they watch the channel. So it's a little ticker that sits in your chat and you accrue points just for hanging out. Can let you do things like have non-subs post messages in sub-only chat. I might think about tying some amount of deck queue points to it when we have access to it. As always, if you're wondering what an upcoming deck is that's listed in the stream title, you can always check out the deck queue on my website. Yeah, so there were third-party things for it, Juju, but they didn't allow you to do things that were integrated in Twitch, like post in chat. So, like, allowing a non-sub to occasionally post in sub-only mode is not something that, like, the non-Twitch versions would allow you to do. Long-time viewer, short-time realize I can post messages through bits. Yep. Lag, 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 lag. I don't understand your question, J Riot. Our hand's pretty good here. Got a bunch of disruption. And then Tidehollow plus Ranger turn into an okay clock, especially once Ranger fetches up a Death Shadow. I mean, yeah, I put some loose thought into it. Nothing too specific yet, obviously. No, all those decks listed are standard decks, Blake. That's why they're listed after the word standard. As always, you can find everything in the deck queue. Yeah, Blizzard is trying to stem the bleeding. I would be incredibly surprised if anything other than Field of the Dead is being considered to be banned. But just the very fact that people want other things banned is a big reason why I hope they don't ban anything. Because if they ban Field of the Dead, they're going to just be endless people clamoring for bans for the remainder of the cycle. I did read Kibler's post. It was very well written. Kibler's a very intelligent individual. If you do a little bit of reading, there's like 6 different cards people want banned. Well, that's incredibly unfortunate. Ooh, maybe I'm supposed to Ranger-Captain in response to this. That's very possible. If they have a bunch more zeros here, we could be in a lot of trouble. Doesn't look like it. I also have not seen that much Field on the ladder. Well, the good news is their hand's real bad. I guess I could theoretically die if I attack with these, huh? They could cantrip into can. Nah, I'm at 6. Let's just hit them for 5. I think we just need to close this game out. Remember an article from Gavin Verhey that they designed Golos as a 5-color? You know, I'll bet they didn't think Kenrith was playable either. And Kenrith is a very playable card in the current format. So their hand right now is 2 lands. Yeah, I deleted all the Blizzard game-related channels on the sub-Discord today. Gave them a couple of days to make right, but can move on until such a point that they do. Do I want to upkeep stop them? Why? Like, their best plays here are creatures, right? And I know their hand is 2 lands at the moment. Well, they have 1 land and 1 mystery card now. So, like, this doesn't do anything, right? Because their last card's a land. Like, they blow up EE and kill this. They block here, they die. Yep. At this point, what could they do to make it right? They could undo their decision. Yeah, that game company is very smart, Beansy. They jumped on that well. While Moto struggles to fully load here. So we went 3-0 in the matches that we played fully. We bowed out of some kind of medium matches. This Death Shadow deck felt really clean. More specifically, it felt that last match that we played against the Urza deck felt really reasonable. I think the Urza Emry combo JAC deck's one of the better decks right now, and sans the one game in that match where like didn't hit our 3rd land, felt like we had good tools to cut through what they were doing. Our deck has a lot of disruption paired with a pretty efficient clock. I think my big takeaway from playing this deck, the card that impressed me the most was definitely Ranger-Captain of Eos. Like, not only was the fact that it gives us extra threat density good, but the fact that it can, like, time walk your opponent in a lot of these combo matchups felt like a really big deal. Giver of Runes was also excellent. Someone just asked, did we miss Stubborn Denial? Giver of Runes, in a lot of ways, is like a proactive Stubborn Denial, especially in the fair matchups. Like, it's a card that says, hey, you have to kill this instead of killing my Death Shadow. And it, like, also randomly cuts you through blockers, too. Like, against the Titan deck, Giver of Runes gave our Death Shadow protection from green to deal lethal a turn faster, which was huge. So, I can definitely see why this has been one of the better decks in the format. It feels like it has a lot of the good tools to be competitive. I'm not a huge fan of the way, you know, mono discard decks play out, but they're definitely very powerful. And, like, having Inquisition, Thoughtseize plus Tidehollow Sculler goes a really long way. But yeah, overall, I was definitely definitely impressed with the configuration overall. All right, what are we doing? We're gonna roll on to some standard. We're gonna kick off with some Jund aggro.